Welcome to the Cups of Consciousness show. I am Alea Dow, your host. I'm a doctor of Oriental medicine, a sound healer, the author and founder of the 7 Cups of Consciousness. I have produced 9 sound healing albums and have recorded over 2,000 meditations online. I am an energy practitioner and help people shift their consciousness using their energetic fields. And this show is all about using your energetic fields to shift your consciousness, as well as exploring energetic concepts that help you create a more empowered and connected life. This episode is an energetic session that explores concepts, energetic practices, and protocols that are similar to a prayer, which help you transform particular aspects of your life. When you listen, recognize that some part of you is using your energetic fields to shift your vibration, which in turn shifts your consciousness, your behaviors, your beliefs, how you react and respond. You might even go into an altered state, so use caution if you're driving or doing something that requires a focused mind. With all of this work that I present, remember that it is your energy shifting you in your own unique way. That way you stay in control and empower with your process. So take a deep breath in, pull yourself into your line of light, and explore your inner terrain in a safe and supported space. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Practitioner Podcast with me, Alea. For many years, I have been connecting with these amazing people who have become practitioners. And we started the podcast, this is our second podcast, because we really wanted to create a safe space for us to have conversations about energy, our energetic fields. It's not something that we talk about at cocktail parties or at coffee with people very often. And so the intent is really just to start a dialogue of we have energy fields. Our energy fields are doing things that are impacting our reality. And this is a time for the practitioners who are incredibly compassionate, very gentle. There is a curiosity and a kindness that each one of them hold, where they will look at your challenges and they will share with you their insights, because from my perspective, all of us have a different lens and there's no right or wrong. There are many layers to every challenge, every opportunity for growth. And so I am going to hand it over to them. People have been submitting questions, reflections, challenges that have been coming up for them in their life. And do any of you, actually, let's call in the guide, set up the space, because when we start to open and tune in and share insights, we all want to be in that safe container. So I'm going to invite all of you who are listening and tuning in to just use your breath to pull your energy and awareness into this present moment. To use the exhale to ground and anchor into this breath of now. And we call forth the Ascended Masters to encircle you in this safe and sacred space. Your guides, your teams, your advisors. To connect to your own healing source, your own spiritual power, your divine spark. And then take a moment to call upon sacred shapes, sounds, and light that have the capacity to support you from a place of empowerment, connection, clarity, discernment. And in this podcast, this time of conscious reflection, extract only that which you need. Only take what resonates. Bring it in for yourself in your own unique way. We ask that these intentions are held in the energetic fields. And again, all of the practitioners, you all have been reflecting upon questions and insights. And does anybody feel a compulsion to jump in?
I've been pondering the question around timing and always running late. So when I was looking into the layers around that, I saw a couple of things. And one was that the circadian rhythm of the body has gotten off their circadian rhythm. And one reason, and ponder if this resonates with the person who asked the question, around that soul who is writing in the physical form is not from the present. You're from the future. You're from a different time. And that when you've come into this time, it's kind of let the body come off its rhythm. And so inviting you as soul writer to connect with your own alignment to your higher self and to connect to your body devas and invite your body devas higher self to connect to their alignment and together kind of come into alignment. It's just an intention, like setting an intention that I, soul writer, I'm going to come into alignment with the physical form and inviting body David to come into her or his physical form and into the current timing so that you're both in the right and same time. And that can then help you to not have to be running late or early or whatever you might be experiencing, but just coming into the present moment in current time with body.
Fascinating. That's so cool, Michelle. I love that. So essentially, the body was getting negatively empathically impacted by the timing of the soul, right?
Yes, right.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And if that person who asked the question is in the podcast and you have any other questions or reflections about that that come up, feel free to share that in the chat room. Michelle, is there anything else on that?
That is what I saw for that piece.
Beautiful. Thank you. And welcome, Nina.
I
Winslow.
actually, that question also kind of came forth too. And
Winslow, can you repeat the question?
yeah, so it was this question of feeling like you're always running late. No matter what you do, you're always prepared. You're running late. And Michelle just spoke to the bigger piece, which I had also, I think that's kind of the big layer. And then one thought that had come through, and again, maybe this resonates and maybe not. If we were in a session together with all of us, then this is where it would be in the curiosity of asking you questions, you sharing that with us to find that other little piece. But maybe play with the idea, or you can ponder, was your mom late? Did you have family, anyone close to you who ran late in their life? And there might be just a tiny little piece of you being in their timing, being in a parent's timing, or someone in your inner circle. So that was just another piece that you can toss, or maybe it resonates too.
Very cool, Winslow. I love that. And as both of you were talking, I could feel like the energy shifting of like, oh yeah, that little thread. Anybody else on the timing piece of always running late?
I could say one, try to keep it quick. So it's funny that we all kind of picked up something on this one. Just a sense that there may be an aspect of you that there's a little bit of rebellion based on maybe something that happened in your past, maybe some kind of shaming or around, maybe it was around timing, maybe it wasn't even around timing, but that somehow that aspect is quite satisfied by being late. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
is it like a freedom, like they feel free or not controlled?
Right.
Okay.
Right. A little bit of like just a little bit of a rebellious piece. And so it's just really a matter of attending to that aspect in a different way and being able to support that aspect and finding a new way to take care of that.
Yeah. Very cool. I love all these insights. And then I heard, it was interesting as Winslow, all of you were talking, there were like a few little threads that came in and I kept hearing the words respect and priorities. So sometimes when we're late for something, it can be layered where we don't feel respected or we don't respect the experience that we're going into, or we're trying to retrieve energy of being respected. And so it's like we're taking control of when we show up. And then also too, if we're putting our priorities like everybody else is a priority, or all these other tasks that are outside yourself a priority, and you're not a priority, then you might end up being late for things that you really do love and cherish. So feel into the possible thread of respect, priorities. As Michelle was talking, timing. As Winslow was talking, I'm going into altered state. As the parent piece, if you're getting empathically impacted. And then, Laura, I'm not going to recap each one of you. You're all geniuses and brilliant. Good. Anybody else want to share anything on? Actually, let's shift to another question. What's pulsing? Stara, do you have one?
The one with my daughter recently visited from the UK, and we've had a major falling out, and I'm still trying to figure out why. Do you have any suggestions as to what I can do to turn this around? All I know is she has changed a lot in recent years. When I look into this, the first thing I see is I actually see I see the distance of where she lives and where you live, and that distance has these two places have a very different vibration, and it's not that there isn't that love, that childhood love. It's not gone. It's just has been kind of translated by the language of the vibration of where she lives versus the language of the vibration of where you live. And it's almost like you're talking two different languages. And that can feel super off. But deep down, when I look, I see this like kind of flowing river of that love that is from that you experienced like looks like around 5, 6, 7 years old, when she was 5, 6, 7 years old. So would say tune back into those memories and see what happens.
Wonderful. Thank you, Astara. Who next?
That question was also something that the first thing that came in for me, actually. And interestingly, I wasn't guided so much to look at the relationship itself, but more at kind of who are you? Who do you want to be? How do you want to be? What frequency do you want to hold within yourself to be true to who you are? And that if you can focus there, first, it will be empowering for you, but it will also impact, because it will be a purity within being who you want to be, being who you are, really living according to the value that you hold around what's important for you. What's the frequency?
Like an authenticity.
Yeah. And it could be, it could be love. It could be kindness. It could be peace. It could be authenticity, integrity, whatever it is. But for you to be able to ponder, what is that? Who am I? Who do I want to be in the world? So I'm going to amplify that vibration within myself.
And I wonder too if the daughter is actually going through that same process, but not maybe even conscious of it. And it's like, well, who am I? And then mom is like, well, who am I to this person, but to this child, but they're like getting empathically impacted by each other. And I've noticed like with people at certain ages, when they're in that process of discovery, the authenticity hasn't really gotten locked in because they're still like, I don't even know who that authentic self is. Really great. Anybody else on the piece with daughter, distance, or other layers that come up? We've all had our own experiences or something else.
I was looking at a different intention, but do any of you have another piece with that? Not so much. Okay. There was one question, and actually, I would love to hear any other thoughts, layers from you all. There was one on a question about what else is specifically necessary for me to complete my soul's contracts? How do I unfold and embrace what I came to do? What specifically is next for me? And when I kind of looked at this from a curious heart, play with the idea that it's almost like you ponder, if you knew what you came here to do, if you knew what your journey was and what it would be and all of your contracts, how would you then feel? And I kept hearing that you may have this sense of deep inner fulfillment if you had this clarity of your journey. And what would it be to have this incredible inner fulfillment that then ripples and reflects into all that you do? And maybe then it doesn't even matter what's happening around you and what does unfold while you're here on earth. And so that's one process that you could do, is to connect with the light that flows within you, to connect with a quality that you value, and to feel how you're fulfilled by that, your inner light, your inner quality, and to amplify that more, and then to see what happens. Maybe it doesn't really matter. And then maybe also you bring in situations and experiences and people that are the reflection of that incredible fulfillment that you hold. So that was one potential piece to play with. And I would love to hear your other thoughts, practitioners.
It was great.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was great, Winslow.
Nina?
When I felt into that question too, it felt like, okay, like overwhelmed just thinking about all the contracts and everything I needed to know. And as you, Winslow, I was thinking connection inside. And if she just did that one thing, just every morning, just connecting with the light that flows within you with one vibration that she really, really values, like that was enough in this journey, in this incarnation. But the other thing is she wanted so much more, like really wanted to work other layers, is like invite yourself from the future as an ascended master where you have the information, and to send it to you in the present breath of now, and which is the past. And then like she'll know, like, oh, I can do this next step, or just some part of her will know, like maybe I'm not on the right journey. Maybe I want to shift this a little bit. And then, I mean, she went to work more layers. She could have a session with one of us, but that's the layers I was feeling into with that question.
Beautiful, Nina.
Thanks, Nina.
Winslow?
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I want to say the same thing. It's so interesting that we've got this same look on this, is to, pull yourself deep into your divine line, pull yourself into that light that is your being, that is, coming from where you began from, your spark. And there is such exhilaration and joy that I see for you when you do that it'll be just like, oh, this is nice. I don't care about anything else.
That's so good. You guys you're all talking about just step one. And what if we were doing step one at ascended master level? Right. So a lot of the times we're like, oh, just pull myself into my divine line. Well, that's boring. Yet that's the one, if there was only going to be one move, that we could do. It's the most important one. And I think that often we get so eager to be further along that we miss the first step, and then it's a lot harder.
Yeah. And this morning, I work with kids a lot. And so I was having them imagine their river of light filled with equality and then encouraging them to get in there. And it was fun being with kids. So it's something we could all do, is imagine that we're all children using our imaginations, because their imaginations are, all of ours are so amazing. And often we forget that our imagination with our energy fields and our intent helps us connect within. And so it's like, how imaginative can you be? Can you imagine your waterfall of light and then feel it? But it's like the imaginings first. What color is it today? Really to get into the imagination. And then there's a sense of feeling it more. So a wee message from your childhood playful self.
That's so cool. When you said that, I literally was like, oh, I'm 6. And the 6-year-old isn't, they don't have all of these filters and blocks and walls and like, oh, I can only move my energy fields this way. It's like a 6-year-old. Restrictions are off.
Mm-hmm.
So cool, Winslow.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Okay, next piece.
There was a question about releasing pain in the back of the neck and the left knee. And when I looked into that, I saw that there is energies from another that is close to you, but it's also in relation to some past life, that energy has gotten stuck in your neck and back of the knee. And so to return all that energy, return the karma, return fragments, in order to release that kind of hold that other being has within their physical space. So there's an empathic aspect to it, as well as, just the energy of the other person in their space.
Do you think it's and like Michelle, when you tune in, is it this person feeling this other person, and that's also like, were they together in a past life, or does it feel like the past life is separate, like it's a past life trauma and coupled with this person's energy entanglement?
Well, I saw that it was from this life, but there's also an aspect to a past life.
Got it.
That they're holding. So it's both aspects, and that it's kind of got the grip really there strong because of that. And so they're getting impacted because of this energy of another that they need to clear up from this life and another life.
Got it.
Turn that back to them.
Fascinating. Anybody else? Any insights on that piece? Okay. Feel free to dive in, you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Nina, go for it.
Carissa had asked, I would like some clarity on Alea's understandings regarding light language and if she feels they are of value both in private practice and as a practitioner. When I feel into that layer, for me, it's like it's body deva, nature, spirit, light language, and it's like it's a vibration, not so much the words that are coming from your mouth. So it's like play with it, and it could be just jibber jabber at first. And yes, it's valuable. My body, Deva, loves it and gets the message way quicker. And with clients, as a practitioner, it works as well, especially when if I'm cleaning someone's fields, it feels like. And how I learned is that when I was connecting with nature spirits, and particularly it was in Middle Earth, they were talking to me in light language, and I didn't know what they were like saying, my soul per se, but my body, Dave, I was like, oh, this is so cool. And it was like, she got it. I can't, it's hard to explain, but it's like your body gets it. Like it's her own language. And so that, yes, it is valuable. For me, it is. I'm not sure if other practitioners play with it as much as I have, but, or experience anything, but yes, I'd like to hear from anybody else.
Yeah, light language. Well, first thing is it bypasses your mind. So and to me it's melodious. And so it's like music and poetry, but it bypasses the mind. And so it creates kind of a very calm, soothing, relaxed place for the information to come in. And as light language itself can have so many different forms. It could be like Nina was saying, it could be kind of like a gibberish. It could be like a song. It could be like poetry. It could actually even be symbols if you write and you get symbols, and that's light language. But all of it bypasses the mind, and so therefore it gets through that mind energy field, the mental energy field, and seeps more into your energy fields that allow you to transition with that information faster and gentler, definitely gentler.
Anybody else on light language?
I'll just share that I am not a master of light language, at least in this dimension. So I don't use it in sessions, but I do when I'm in the car or by myself, I just start inventing to get more familiar. So from the perspective of someone who doesn't use it all the time, like some of you, and that's been a fun way to, without anyone listening, just to experiment with what's my light language, what may it sound like, and that's fun.
Larry, Michelle?
Well, I always see light language, like Astara said, is, it helps to bypass the mind, and that it helps to bring in a vibration of information that is from another dimension. So when you are wanting to shift yourself in a way that is, I think light language can help it be more gentle. So when you're wanting to come in from a place of more gentleness, that you can listen to light language, or you can do your own light language like Winslow, that it can help you to shift your vibration in, again, a much more gentle way, because it's bypassing the mind, and you can bring in these vibrations that are really deeply resonant, either for your soul or your body, that can shift much more quickly because it is more gentle, and because you're not having to think of, oh, am I doing this? Am I trying to do this? Was it working? You just listen, you just allow, you just receive your transmission from your higher self, from your body, Davis higher self, so that the shifts can happen more quickly, easily, and gently.
Lori?
I love what everyone has said. I don't know that I have anything new to add. So I think.
Yeah, I think the essence, I mean, there's lots of layers that you all brought in. And I just keep kind of hearing, if somebody gets stuck in their head a lot and they can't get out of their head and they are like obsessed with, I have to figure it out and understand it, light language could be the go-to, just as we were all saying about it bypasses the mind. It's also fun to have your guides communicate with you in light language, because then you weren't sitting there being like, wait, what did they say? You just drop into what's the vibrational download that I'm receiving. There was a Q&A. I've been having immense amount of issues with trust discernment. We can always speak to that at some point in time. But does anybody have a question that they were really hankering for that you guys want to dive into? And I'll grab it and share it.
There was one, and I'm not saying I necessarily have the piece in this moment, but there was one on that financial.
Oh, yeah. So somebody,
Those are two.
yeah, they asked a question and we translated it.
Were there two questions about financial betrayal, or was that one?
That was just one. So it was, we translated it from English to from Turkish to English, and so it was like financial challenge, financial betrayal, and Winslow, you had an insight.
I would actually need to go into my inner space to get that insight, so I could do that. And then if one of you, Astara, Lori, Michelle, did you guys?
Astara's like,
The one thing that that came in on that, just with the first really basic question. So it was just about financial betrayal initially, and so when I just tuned into that, there was a past life component, and it felt like there would with similar people, and that it would be beneficial to do some protocols around activating the spiritual lesson from that lifetime and reflecting that energy, that activation here in this dimension. So there was something around that for me.
It makes sense.
Also, just thinking about betrayal, it's if we flip it, which is it's like crank up the courage and then flip it to where are we betraying our own self? And I keep thinking about commitment. Where are we placing our commitment? Is it on your inner light or is it on other people? And so there may be a piece too on becoming aware of how much you may be committed to other people and the outer world and then betraying your own light. And so what would it be like to bring your commitment back to your river of light and to a quality within and commitment inside, which then may shift situations of betrayal.
Yeah, and when it ties in with finances and home, right? If we lose money, if we lose home, we might have been committed to money and home. And now if we don't have those things in the outer, the only place to come is deep to the core. Very hard, challenging, but Winslow, you're right, like bringing it back to that commitment component.
Find your home in your river.
Yeah.
Again, using your imagination to build your home in those qualities or in one quality.
Beautiful. Anyone else want to share any insight on that or other? Does anybody want to dive into the immense amount of issues with trust and discernment? Do you have any insight on how to recalibrate myself to trust myself and my guidance? Once again, that energy and that question's been coming up a lot lately with a lot of people. So it's like, any insights from anybody?
I'll go ahead. This is super layered question, but the first thing that I get, it has to do with timing and having to do with a kind of advanced timing issue. It's like there are lots of dimensional merges that are happening right now, and it's like the way that this person connected with their intuition. It's not that their intuition is off. It's like immense amount of issues with trust and discernment. It's like, you're doubting yourself, but it's like your intuition's not off. It's just that there's like a time shift, a dimensional shift, that the way that you would read things, that's what's different. And so it's about being able to adjust to the vibration of the dimension of where it is that you are getting this information from. Like I said, this one's layered.
And is it like, so is it also possible they might be holding their energy and awareness in other timelines?
Yes.
And that information is rippling into this one, and they're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That's it, Alea. You've pretty much
Well,
nailed
because I was tracking where you were going, and I was like, oh, so they're getting all this information from all these different timelines, but then it might not be relevant for right now, but it is relevant for them somewhere.
Exactly. Right. And so what they're wanting to do is to tune into the current timeline to be able to get their information and that current timeline that they resonate with, because we all resonate with different timelines.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to
And
tune into what you
maybe
resonate with.
maybe we have to, like in this moment, send information to ourselves in other timelines, because our other parts of us might be sending us information in this timeline, but it might only be one way, and then that's why it feels off. And so if we did both ways, maybe it would shift it.
Yeah, and as mentioned before, as you as an ascended master from the future can also send you information for the proper timeline to tune into.
That's a good one. Very cool.
Seems like we all need to do that right now.
Anybody else on that one? Okay. Somebody asked a question, how can I introduce myself to light language? And not to plug myself, but I'm plugging myself.
Okay.
I have like 9 sound healing albums. And so you could go to Spotify or you could go to Amazon. There's the light language sound, what is it called? Light language sound healing, light body. Anyhow, Sounds True released it. It's on Amazon and it has a lot of light language. So either my albums or other musicians that have light language, and then just sing along, and then some part of you starts to bring in your own, and really honor your own dialect too. We all have our own dialect. There's some people that I've tuned into and I listen to their light language and it's like, and they're usually very excited people in general because their light language kind of matches their vibration, their tone. And then some people's light language is like or Celtic or Native American or Hawaiian. So just honor whatever comes through for you. Any other? We've got a few minutes left. And in our let's 5-10 minutes. Does anybody want to share insights, suggestions about how to hold ourselves right now with the energy? We've got the full moon coming up on Thursday. We have Mercury Retrograde starting on July 17th. We have Lionsgate on August 8th. Any suggestions or insights that any of you have been having?
What I've been tuning into a lot is come back to my core, come back to my core. Like it seems like almost every few minutes I'm having to remind myself to come back to my core. And I think that's going to be really important in these next few weeks, is to really be in our own river of light. So using our breath, using our inhale to call ourselves in. And the other part that I've really been working on is to release, to clean my fields, to spin my fields in that counterclockwise direction, to release whatever is holding me in a discordant pattern, or I'm returning others' energies, so that I'm as clean as I can be moving into this next phase. So that those two things have really been coming up for me in the last couple of weeks, even to a month. Of must be in my line, really remembering that. Clean my fields. And of course, strengthening as well, but it's really been recently mostly cleaning.
Very cool. Anybody else?
Yeah. for me, it's been about what I think would be a good practice is just even the tiniest little mantra. You can practice like 30 seconds, like I'm safe inside. I'm safe inside. Just walk around. I'm just safe inside. I don't have to be safe in the outer world. I'm just safe inside. Or I'm connected to the light that flows within me. And just, or you can write it on a little note card. And it's like when your body sees it on the bathroom mirror. I have them everywhere. In the bathroom mirror, like your body will just like start energetically doing what it says, and you don't even have to think about it anymore. But just like get in your light, like Michelle said, and then whatever mantra or whatever you're feeling, if you're feeling unsafe or scared, maybe I'm just safe inside. So whatever practice like you're feeling, and validate your body to its feelings. That's always important too.
Nina, as you were just talking, I saw another thread that I hadn't seen before. And there's times when we can get clarity, and this is not that time. And when we're in a release and a recalibration, we want to kind of hold off on pushing the clarity button and just let yourself be in that release, that reinvention process. And then the clarity comes in 6 weeks or 10.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Thanks for showing it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That is interesting because before this podcast, today I've been having this feeling of like, oh, I can't see or I can't sense at all. And so I just thought, okay, I'll just do eyes inside into my light. And as Michelle and Nina, that's another one-liner is eyes inside. It's like just hunker in, opposed to looking and peeking externally.
Or the Nina one-liner would be like, I don't need to find clarity right now.
Yeah.
Just release, just allow for release.
Yeah.
Anyone else on insights and suggestions of how to hold ourselves in turbulent times?
I love all the different ways of kind of saying the same thing. It's lovely to have multiple ways of saying it and to have, different ways of saying it. And I know for me, coming back to myself and right now and during this time, I need to be even more committed to making sure that happens on a regular basis. So if I get distracted and I'm too in the world for whatever reason, I need to know that I have these times that have been set aside for me to come back to myself and to however long it takes, and if I can only spend a minute, then that's great. So these one-liners are really important. One thing that I love to say is I can't wait to see what good will come from this, because it completely shifts my perception from maybe I'm worried or I'm feeling fearful. And but if I say that, then it catches it and it's like, oh, but wait, this is going to be great. And so those are the things right now. I think, feeling my feet, connecting with Mother Earth, and just being present and letting. I love what people. A couple of people said, it's like there's been a lot of that release for me as well, and I've needed to remind myself as different things have come up that it's okay. Just let it move through. Just let it move through. And trusting the process of what's happening right now.
Beautiful.
Lower you on that part. I just have one little thing to say. It was like what's good in this? It's like, yeah, when a situation comes up that's like kind of gnarly and you're not sure, like, oh, it doesn't feel good, but like that simple sentence, just like, what is the good in this? It shifts and it brings back your power. Like, what's the good in this? Like, and it just brings it right back to you. Like you're looking for the positive. That was a good point.
And to add on that, it's in these turbulent times, if you make a commitment to do just one tiny thing, just one little thing. The thing that came up while we were talking was having to do with social media. And it's like, okay, maybe I'm just going to, whatever your number is, I'm going to stay off of social media for this period of time. Maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's a half hour, maybe it's an hour. But whatever that is for you, that small little nugget of a commitment, doing that has a much bigger impact and a bigger shift right now.
Good point. Yeah, I hadn't seen it in that. It's like you are in a storm and just one tiny little angle, the storm energy actually uses you to propel you in this really powerful direction.
Yeah.
One other thing that just popped in listening to you say that is it's also been very important for me to remember the frequency that, or frequencies, it doesn't have to just be one for me, that I want to be feeling, that I want to be holding, and to try to catch myself when that is not what I'm experiencing, because I can make that, oh, wait, I wanted to, I really, and maybe I can't get, to full on joy, but I could make a little shift in that frequency. And the longer I sit in it, the more amplified it can become. And then move on with that. So.
Anyone else? Winslow?
I was only going to say if we were going to read any more, then there was one that was popping into my head, but I feel like maybe we're wrapped up for today.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything before we complete? Whatever it is that you do hold in your heart, it is the strongest. It is the strongest. It is the most harmonic. And so a lot of the times we navigate in the world with the majority of our awareness external. And that means that you have great awareness. And you get to redirect that awareness to the internal, that same amount of awareness internal. And so whatever you think has been your weakest suit, explore the idea when you redirect it, it ends up being your strongest suit and the thing that sustains you the most. And so just tuning into what we've all been talking about today, the divine line, the core, the vibration that you hold inside yourself as something that supports you more than anything in the outer world, and be most attached to that. We are in deep gratitude to all of you for holding a safe space for our second podcast to explore, to weave a grid of having a conscious conversation about energy, about challenges and insights. And we invite you to join us for our next podcast that will be 7 weeks from now. I do believe we'll send out emails and just thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, or morning, depending on where you are in the world, and gently wrapping yourself in sheets of rainbow light, sealing these vibrations, these insights, these shifts in to the degree that it's appropriate for you and to the degree that it serves you. And I am in deep gratitude to each one of you practitioners for holding the light, for modeling and encouraging. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have been listening to the Cups of Consciousness show with me, Alea Dow. Receive a free month of the Cups of Consciousness. Go to 7cupsofconsciousness.com. When you get your free month, you will get 5 cups a week for 4 weeks. You'll also receive access to a live Tall Cup of Consciousness session. Feel free to review the show. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Aho.